say good morning? No. Can you just relax? Pearl is not happy. Maisie's not here. Maisie got to G-O for an R-I-D-E, and Pearl did not. She's mad. Well, sad. She's needed a lot of cuddles this morning. Good morning. It's Barbara. It is Friday, January 15th. I hope you are all well. I just got back from taking Maisie to the vet for her grooming session. She's getting her hair combed and her face shaved. Not shaved, but clipped. And getting prettied up a little bit. Hopefully they won't have to trim her at all. She said she would only trim anything that was really matted, but her hair is so short. She was pretty shaved 2 months ago, so she only has that much hair, which she needs for the weather. So they shouldn't have to do too much, just around her face and her butt. Give her a good comb out, and she should be good to go. But it is not the easiest thing to get her into the car by herself because, of course, Pearl thinks she should be going too. And I foolishly, when Dennis said, can you get her in the car yourself? I said yes, but I'm not saying yes next time because it was too frazzly for me. I'm still a little frazzled. So he can wrangle Pearl while I'm getting Maisie going. But Dennis isn't a morning person, so I try anything that has to happen first thing in the morning. I try to do it so he doesn't have to. But so he doesn't have to get all frazzled. But now I'm all frazzled. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Deep cleansing breaths. Anyway. Nothing like a little lipstick to brighten you up. I don't know if I said it yesterday, but I wore my red socks from Pat yesterday, and they're so wonderful that I slept in them, and I'm still wearing them. Do you wear your hand-knit socks more than one day in a row? I do. I have to confess. 3 times sometimes. So what do you think? Is that gross? I mean, even if you're sitting there thinking it's gross, I know you're not going to put that in the comments because you're too nice for that. But I've wondered if, like, is it better for the socks to always be like fluffed up when you wear them so that you should wash them right after you wear them before you wear them again? Or is, 2 or 3 days in a row and then you wash them? Is that better for the sock? Does anybody know? I don't know. But anyway, I wear mine more than one day, so I'm wearing my red socks again today. Thank you, Pat. They are wonderful, and I am enjoying them immensely. And my feet are toasty warm. And they were last night, too. So there you go. I'm just curious. But, yeah, I definitely wear my socks more than once before I wash them. I'm curious. What do you do? So, I had a very nice visit with Ora yesterday. Took her to the doctor, so we had time in the car to talk, and took her some supper. Dennis had his game last night, which just meant he was in the other room talking into his computer. And so I hung out here, but I brought my Francis wrap for my car knitting. It's my car knitting because it's the easiest thing I've got going, which is kind of interesting since it's double knit and 3-color intarsia. But I was able to manage the 3 colors in the car. It wasn't a big deal. So it's going pretty well. It's going to be quite long by the time I even mention it on my podcast. Oh well. And when I got home, I was kind of tired and, whatever, and I didn't feel like thinking about anything too much, so I just kept working on my Francis wrap. And that worked. Today I am going to try to engage the brain a little bit and start working on the front of my archer. and see how that goes and where that takes me. I'm also, wanting to work on my bookshelf. I want to like put in some bookshelf, and I wanted to outline my books, and I have a couple books to put in. And I have some zhuzhing to do with my gold thread. So I might do some of that today. So that would be fun. So that's kind of what I'm putting on my crafting list. But if I'm watching my news shows or talking to Dennis, I'll be working on my Francis wrap because I can do that and talk. And it's okay. So that's my plans for today. Yesterday, I ended up eating too much. I still feel a little full. It was all food that I'm allowed to eat, but too much. So I'm not going to be eating much today. In fact, I think I'm going to fast because I have too much. Which gives me more time to craft. I don't think about food. I just sit there and knit. Not that food takes up a lot of time, but it kind of does. It's funny. I don't feel any obligation to do the dishes on the days that I'm fasting. So no cooking, no eating, and no doing the dishes. Gives you a lot more time to knit. But anyway, I need to get off Instagram because, well, not really. I'm kind of excited because Andrea, the cat lady, C-A-T-T, she has a podcast, and she has started dyeing yarn. I think she started in the fall. She had some kind of Advent thing going, so she's been doing it for a few months at least. And on Instagram, she posted a picture of, turned out to be one of her Advent colors, which she called cranberry, which was red and pink. And I really liked it a lot. So I ordered some cranberry yarn from the cat lady with the idea that I would make myself a Not Too Much by Hinterm Stern, which is the sweater I wore yesterday. And so I ordered that. She's dyeing it up for me, so I won't have it for a little while. But I was thinking knitting on that is going to bring me joy. I am leaning to the joyfulness make-along, because with the joyfulness make-along, I mean, why wouldn't we want to do that and figure out what will bring us joy or what will bring someone else joy and do that? So I think I'm going to go with that. Although Dagmar had a really good idea too. I just saw it real quick this morning. I didn't even reply yet. Her suggestion was sort of a adjust your pattern kind of make along, where you take the color work section from a mitten and put it in a sweater, or you take the lace pattern from a shawl and you put it in a sweater, or this cool cable and you put it in a hat or something, where you adjust your pattern and make changes to the pattern to make it more personal for you, which I also like that idea too. We can do more than one make along at a time, but let's start with the joyful make along and we'll go from there, because it's important to work on bringing yourself some joy, or other people. I have promised Dennis that I would knit him some felted mittens. I need to look for a pattern for that, I think, just to help me with sizing. And because he needs some really warm mittens for those super cold days when we walk the dogs. And I think I will even, my plan is to line them. He has his, he can't wear itchy on his skin, and the things that are felted, while they don't really necessarily read itchy, they're not soft, and so he would, like them lined with something soft. And I'm sure I can find something soft to knit a lining for his mittens. But anyway, that's something that I could make in the Joyfulness make-along, because they will bring him joy. And I had two choices. I could knit him thrummed mittens, or I could knit him felted mittens, and I picked felted. I have thrummed mittens that I took back from my mother, because she doesn't even go outside anymore, that he can try and see what he thinks. But, he basically said, which would you rather like to make? And I said, I think I'd rather make the felted mittens. So I will add that to my list of things to do in the joyful make. And knitting something with red and pink yarn will do it too. Somebody said joyful stash make along, but I don't have enough pink and red in my stash, so I don't want to just limit it to stash. That's the only reason I'm selfishly want to use my new yarn that I've ordered. I still have my John Orban here because, of course, I never put anything away. But I bought a pattern for that, the Fairfield by Michelle Wang. I have always been a fan of Michelle Wang's designs, but she makes all of her sweaters in pieces. I don't think, I haven't seen any of her designs that were like, knitting around one piece, whatever. So anyway, this is a beautiful cable and lace. I didn't realize when I bought it that it is reverse stockinette. And but I don't have to make it reverse stockinette if I don't want to. I'm the boss of my knitting. And anyway, so this is going to take a little brain power. I don't know if you can see it because it's not that bright in here. But it looks like a beautiful sweater. But when I'm looking at that back detail, I'm sitting here wondering, is that going to show up in the brown? So I'm going to do some swatching, and I might even swatch that cable a little bit and see. Because my idea of this yarn in a cable sweater, nobody said, oh, you're never going to see a cable with that color. So I'm assuming I can make, well, I'll know they're there. Even if nobody can see them, I'll be able to see them. Anyway, so I bought that pattern, Michelle Wang, Fairfield. That's Wang, Michelle Wang. She has some beautiful patterns. Not a lot in DK though. So I got that. Now, I don't know when I'm going to knit this, to tell you the truth. But it's possible I can knit 2 sweaters in the Joyfulness make along, because this is going to be my day knitting. And I can knit bright red and pink at night, right? And that, the not too much doesn't have too much detail on it, but it does have a little bit of a faux cable going down the back and going down the sleeves. And I did make a note in Ravelry when I did it that the next time I think I want to put that faux cable down the front too. And I will do that. Whether I put it in the back or not, I don't know, but I will do it in the front, I think. Although it'll be interesting to see, it's very possible that that detail won't show in my new yarn. It doesn't show in the yarn, that detail does not show well in the sweater that I made. It's a subtle, very subtle design because it's faux cable, so it's not really, so it's just a stitch pattern, just a little stitch pattern, really. Anyway. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking for my future knitting. But I might get ambitious and wind that yarn. Do a little swatch. Probably not. I'm going to work on my front of my Archer sweater. Maybe some embroidery. And if I don't feel like I want to do either of those things, then I'll just keep working on my Francis wrap. That's my day. And we'll just sit here and wait for Maisie to get done. And then we'll go for our perambulation. I can't even spell the word anymore because Pearl can spell and she's right here by me. So that's what's happening today. Pretty lazy day. And I'm just looking forward to a lot of crafting. That's my plan. A lot of crafting. And maybe clean the living room because it is really time. And I said I was going to do it today, but I've said a lot of things, so. I will talk to you tomorrow. Please take very, very good care of yourselves. Be very careful out there in the COVID world. Stay safe.